Thank you for joining us on Studio G. Today we'll talk about students making money from sharing their cars, the money Nevada is generating from the sale of legalized marijuana, and how many more dispensaries can we expect to see throughout the valley.
And later on, we'll sit down with Dr. Andrew Hansen to find out more about his new position as acting dean of the Honors College. We'll be right back with Studio G.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Studio G. I'm Sebastian Ross.
And I'm Diva Carter. New apps and technologies are changing the way many of us travel. One app is even going viral by allowing us to stay in comfortable homes instead of hotels. Now, other peer-to-peer sharing apps are gaining popularity by letting you do the same thing, but with your car. Mary Maloney has a closer look.
A brand new car, and Brittany Young is actually making money off of it.
Total, I made about $800 so far.
She's one of millions using the car-sharing app Turo to share vehicles with complete strangers.
When they pick up my cars, I give them some suggestions of where to go, what to do, what to eat.
The Turo app allows you to rent your car to pre-approved drivers and offers a cheaper alternative to the car rental counter.
You can get the car delivered to you at the airport, curbside, or if you're traveling locally, you can have the car delivered to your home or to your office.
CEO Andre Haddad says it's like an Airbnb for cars.
You know, our hosts are sharing their cars because for the first time, the car is no longer a depreciating asset that costs them money. It's an asset that can pay for itself.
The Get Around and Hire Car apps are also giving users more flexibility and customization. Along with Turo, all three work like an online dating app, allowing users to browse vehicles in their area and pick one that fits their budget and occasion.
If I was to rent a high-performance car from a rental car company, that would be at least $300, $400. At Turo, I could get it for $100.
We've got more than 850 makes and models, so you can get a very basic car for $20 a day, and if you want to splurge, you can drive a Lamborghini for $2,000 a day.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
With this app, you can get an affordable car long-term, or you can simply have something flashy for the night. These peer-to-peer sharing apps are ranging anywhere from car sharing to pet sharing, and are easy to download and navigate.
The FBI investigation into Brett Kavanaugh wrapped up this morning. But before lawmakers vote on his confirmation, they're spending attention on the president. Omar Jimenez tells us about comments President Trump has made about Kavanaugh's accuser.
As the country waits to see if Judge Brett Kavanaugh will be their newest Supreme Court justice, President Trump is standing firmly behind his nominee, which now includes mocking the woman accusing Kavanaugh of sexual misconduct, Christine Blasey Ford, accusations Kavanaugh denies.
How did you get home? I don't remember. How'd you get there? I don't remember. Where is the place? I don't remember. How many years ago was it? I don't know.
The day after, Democratic and even some Republican senators unhappy with the comments.
I don't like what the president said last night. I'm the first person to say, I want to hear from Dr. Ford. I thought she was handled respectfully. I thought Kavanaugh was treated like crap. Yeah, well, boo yourself.
Some senators expected to be key, even potentially deciding votes in Kavanaugh's confirmation.
The president's comments were just plain wrong.
Is it going to affect your vote, Senator?
It's just not right. I wish he hadn't have done it. Just to say it's kind of appalling.
But Senator Jeff Flake adding the president's comments would not affect his vote. Wednesday, the White House defending those comments.
Every single word, second by second, of his testimony has been picked apart. Yet if anybody says anything about the accusations that have been thrown against them, that's totally off limits and outrageous. This entire process has been a disgrace.
Meanwhile, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is pushing to begin voting as soon as Friday. In Washington, I'm Omar Jimenez.
The FBI wrapped up their investigation by interviewing 9 people. Some Republican senators say the findings suggest Kavanaugh did nothing wrong, while Democrats say the investigation failed to speak to key people involved. Studio G will follow this as it becomes the next hot debate in Washington.
One particular group is spreading awareness about voting registration and how elections are affecting us as individuals. Next Gen Nevada can be found around campus talking to students about politicians and what their goals could mean for the youth's future. Studio G's Arlette Youssef has more information about Next Gen and how to get involved.
For college students, finding time to vote might be a little difficult. Next Gen Nevada makes it easier for you.
We organize to register students here to vote, but also getting them politically engaged. So that means connecting them with the issues that really affect their lives and showing them who these politicians are and how they're actually going to affect their lives. Because there are 70 million of us that are eligible to vote, and for the first time in history, that means we can overpower any other voting demographic when we do go and vote. So what that means is that we finally get policy change and leaders that reflect us, and we can finally decide what our future and what our present is going to look like instead of older generations deciding that for us, and then us living the consequences of those decisions later on in our lives in a few decades.
I believe that my voice and the voice that I represent should be heard, and the only way, well, not the only way to do that, but one of the ways to do that is to ensure that when I'm voting and the people that I'm electing that's going to represent me represents the things that are important to me.
The midterm election is just around the corner, and everyone is encouraged to vote. Voting is arguably more critical now than ever before. For Studio G, I'm Arlette Youssef.
Next Gen Nevada will be registering students to vote until October 8th. They will then be hosting a voting center at the Lead Library from the 31st until November 2nd. After the break, we have Dr. Andrew Hansen discussing his new position as Acting Dean of the Honors College. We'll be right back with Studio G.
Our Metropolis is a 30-minute show that airs every Tuesday evening at 91.5. You're going to hear Dr. Gary Larson along with our regular contributors talking about what matters to our community. And not only what matters, but why does it matter? We look at our community as a whole, but we also pay special attention to what's happening here at UNLV because that's our home as well. So looking at our Metropolis through the lens of a radio show really gives us the unique perspective to tell a story through words and through people, and I think it makes for a great program.
We are member supported. KUNV 91.5, The Source. Here's why you should become a member. Become a part of the public radio family while keeping jazz alive in Southern Nevada. Every member receives a discount card to businesses and restaurants around the valley, along with a premium of KUNV branded items, exclusive access to KUNV ticket giveaways for concerts and events, and private members-only events with prominent musicians such as Paul Taylor, Vincent Ingala, and many more. We are 91.5 The Source, and that source is you. So become a member today.
Joining us on Studio G today is the new Dean of the Honors College, Dr. Hansen. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure to be here.
Wonderful. So please tell us a little bit about your experience.
So I've been at UNLV since 2000. I'm a geologist. I was hired in the Department of Geoscience and was a tenure track faculty member there. Got tenure in 2006. And in January of 2013, I became the Associate Dean of the Honors College. Then as former Dean Miana became the acting president of UNLV, I was asked to step up and be the acting dean of the Honors College.
That must have been exciting.
It was.
Awesome.
The Honors College is a great place to be. I love the 6 years that I've been there. It's been a great time at UNLV, so I'm very happy to be doing what I'm doing.
Awesome. So I take it you might have some new ideas for us for the Honors College?
We're always thinking about new ideas, but we're going to approach those slowly, simply because before Dean Miana became President Miana, she was the dean, I was the full-time associate dean, and we had a half-time assistant dean. Mm-hmm. With those changes, I'm now the full-time acting dean. Our former half-time assistant dean is now our full-time associate dean, and we haven't replaced the half-time assistant dean position. So we're actually down compared to what we were as far as staffing. But we do have some ideas about where we need to keep going and things we need to do. And one of those things is to keep growing the Honors College.
Absolutely. So to grow the Honors College, why should some students choose to go that route?
Well, if a student is eligible to come into the Honors College, it's a great place to be on campus. We work really hard there to develop a sense of community, to support our students both in many different ways, both financially with as many scholarships as we can possibly give, but also to have this sense of community that makes a student feel like they're part of the UNLV community, that they have a home on campus, and to sort of fight the aspect of just coming to campus, taking classes, and immediately leaving. We want our students to be fully engaged UNLV students and have lots of things that support that.
That's very encouraging. So what are some of the requirements?
So most of our students are in what we call the University Honors Program. And those are typically high-achieving high school students that we recruit from all over the place, but many of them come from the Las Vegas Valley. We look at the students' unweighted high school GPA. We also look at their ACT and SAT scores, and each student then submits an application that includes some letters of recommendation. So we look at the whole package of those things.
That's pretty serious, in my opinion. It seems like some of our students can definitely attain that.
Yeah, and then in addition to that, if a student comes to UNLV and doesn't even know about the Honors College, which happens, and they have appropriate credentials or after their first semester have at least a 3.5 GPA, those students can also come into the University Honors Program. And then we have a whole second program called Research and Creative Honors that's open to any UNLV student. And that program is a chance for them to do a year-long honors thesis project. And those students then graduate with honors as well.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
So I hear that the Honors College has a lot of different events going on, and one of their popular ones is the talent show.
Yeah, the talent show is always held in the spring semester. So sort of the corollary in fall semester is what we call Coffee House Night. And Coffee House Night just happened last week. And Coffee House Night is what it sounds like. The students get together in a fairly intimate setting, and they might rap, they might read poetry, they might sing. They do talent things, and we have some amazing students who we sort of drop our jaws when we see the kinds of things that they can do. And so that's a really cool thing. So we just finished Coffee House Night. The talent show will be in the spring, and that's always held in Cohen Theater. It's open to anybody on campus. And there we see students doing everything from acrobatics and contortion acts to performing musical things or dancing, and some of them are international students who do cool cultural things from their home places. Nice. So the talent show is really cool.
So, and what are some of the other events that are held?
Yeah, so most of our events, well, many of our events are actually put together by our Honor Student Council.
Oh, great.
And so some of the routine things that they always do is they always have some general meetings where students can get involved and be part of the Honors College event planning stuff. But one of the things that's coming up is Halloween night. So students will get together and have a Halloween party in the Honors College and come obviously dressed up and do the whole Halloween thing. At Thanksgiving, we always do a different event that we call Friendsgiving. And that was something that some of our students about 5 years ago maybe initiated. And you know, some of our students realized that their classmates who weren't from Las Vegas were going to be alone at Thanksgiving. And they weren't going to go home because they were going to wait and go home at the holiday break.
Right.
And so the students said, well, we should have a Friendsgiving where we put on a Thanksgiving dinner for those students who can't go home. And that's become an annual event. And it started out just in a small area in the Honors College. It's now grown to about 250 students every year, and we actually hold it in the Alumni Center. And it's a full Thanksgiving dinner with turkey, dressing, and all the works.
That sounds really nice. I mean, yeah, a lot of people don't get the chance to go home, so that's really nice to think about them in that sense.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. We do appreciate you coming and having a chat with us today.
It's been my pleasure.
Thank you so much. After these few words, we'll be back at the studio.
As far as Studio G,
At first it looks overwhelming, and at first it looks like it's a lot of work, but I'll tell you what, it's the most beneficial class I've had at UNLV to date, without a doubt. You get to not only develop stories and work on your interviewing skills, your editing skills, and your shooting skills from a camera perspective, you get to work on all the equipment that's in the studio. So you're working on audio, you're working on directing, tech directing, you get to produce your own show. You can take a 30-minute newscast and make it your own. And that's really cool about Studio G. Like I said, a lot of it seems overwhelming at first, but it is by far the best class I've taken at UNLV since I've been here.
Internship, you have to do an internship. It's one of the requirements for a journalism major. You have to do an internship before you can graduate.
Definitely having an internship as a requirement really helps push yourself out there and to just remind you that that your graduation is coming up soon. You're going to have to need some work experience in your career. So it's really good to put yourself out there early on, and they tend to help students a lot more. So when you do a student internship, it really helps out a lot.
Nevada is looking to pump more money into the state's economy as 31 dispensaries are slated to open by the end of the year. Arafat Hussein tells us more about what we can expect with more dispensaries around the valley.
Nevada might approve 31 more recreational marijuana dispensaries, which may pop up near your local neighborhood. Is this good or bad?
I live near a dispensary called Essence, right here, walking distance 4 or 5 minutes from my house. And already I've lived in this neighborhood for 2 years. And before the dispensary came, we had less cops, we had less homeless people. Now, because of the dispensary, we've had more cops during the daytime.
I believe that marijuana is so popular that it would be tough to place a law on who loves the drugs.
A fan favorite drug, really. I think that is gonna be hard. If anything, it's adding more security to each building.
Others think that there would be no increase in criminal activity just because it happens regularly.
I don't think there would be an uptick in criminal activity. I think the opposite would actually be the truth. I think more likely than not, when people can do something that used to be illegal in a legal manner, people who are more prone to act in accordance with the law would choose to do so. So you would see the market decrease for people doing things.
I never know what will happen in the near future, but we just have to wait and see. From Studio G, I'm Arafat Hussein.
Nevada raked in nearly $70 million in tax revenue from cannabis sales. This new income has been welcomed by our state's legislatures. This may hint to the approval of more dispensaries throughout the Silver State.
It's important that as students, we are healthy in all aspects. Studio G's Kira Cooley speaks with Professor Tara McManus about how we can remain socially aware and healthy in our community.
As a tenure track communication professor, Tara McManus is responsible to conduct her own research. She focuses on developing, conducting, and analyzing, as well as publishing social scientific topics, such as how people manage stress. She focuses on college students and how they handle things such as bills and relationship issues.
The goal of most of my research ultimately is to find ways to help students become better at providing social support. So is it that we need to develop their communication skills? Do we need to develop how they give support and the ways that they think about what good support is? To use the research to help students early on before they have their own families and become adults. How can we develop those kind of social support communication skills?
Her current studies look at how people talk to friends about sexual health problems and how those friends help them navigate these issues.
For me, I think the biggest thing that they get out of it is simply the ability to have that conversation or to reflect on that conversation and think about how could I have given my friend better support, or how could I help my friend better, or a different friend in a different way better next time, or is there information I don't know, or are there ways I could better give support, or is there some place I could take them to give them what they need.
There are a range of study topics for UNLV students to sign up for. Whether it be an online survey to an in-lab discussion, these studies are published in communication journals, used in class, and for bettering the campus.
With the hope that it could be used here on campus, either as something over in the Wellness Center to help inform what they're doing over there and how they're talking with students who come in, to help us help the university make an argument for why we need better sexual health education.
This has been Kira Cooley for Studio G.
To find out more on how you can get involved, talk to your professors or visit unlv.sona-systems.com. Stay with us after the break for more.
I'm Kylie O'Rourke.
Shervin Mushuri.
I'm Langston Carter.
Hi, I'm Holly.
My name is Anna.
My name is Jameson Wilk. Window on the Middle East.
Spinning Indie.
Good News with Holly.
It's Jazz and a Touch of Soul.
It's Latin Nights with Anna.
The Rebel and Revolt Show.
And you can check it out on therebelhd2.com.
The show's name is the Rebel and Revolt Show. Pretty good show about, just someone who will actually talk about UNLV the way an outsider might feel. We talk about current events, we talk about politics, try to take an offensive swing with it. Sometimes it's hit or miss, and then we talk about, the little things in life that everybody laughs about. And we are the Rebels and we are revolting. My name is Jameson Wilk and I run the Rebel and Revolt Show, and you can tune in at therebelhd2.com.
If you're part of the law program, you may have heard of the Investor Protection Clinic. Studio G's Timothy Klein speaks with Professor Benjamin Edwards about how students can get involved.
Professor Benjamin Edwards has been at UNLV for just over 1 year and is the founder of the Investor Protection Clinic.
We aim to help ordinary investors who have suffered significant losses for them, but losses that are not so large that they would be able to get a private attorney. Oftentimes, people can lose $40,000, $30,000, $50,000, and it can be huge. For many people who are on Social Security, it can be more than an entire year of income. But it's very difficult for people in that situation to get access to help. And so we're able to do that on a pro bono basis.
The Investor Protection Clinic not only aids investors, but involves UNLV law students in the process as well.
So the deal we make clients is that they will not pay for our services. And law students use their cases as a way to learn about the law in this area. And so the law students spend a tremendous amount of time working these cases. And it takes them longer to do something because they're doing it for the first time. But I oversee the process, and clients, on the whole, have been satisfied. So we serve clients on both a local and national basis. And so some of the folks we've worked with have been local, but we've also worked with folks outside the Las Vegas area. Las Vegas is one of the regions in the nation that had a high concentration of stockbrokers with red flags on their record. And so there's probably a decent number of people here who need this help. The challenge is, with our resources, we're not able to help as many people as needed. Oftentimes, security suits are complicated, and if you're going to do it on your own, it's going to be time-consuming and difficult, and proceeding without representation is hard. And so help is really what people are after, and that's what we give.
If you would like more information, you may find Professor Edwards in his room at the William S. Boyd School of Law. For Studio G, I'm Timothy Klein.
For more, you may contact the clinic through email at investor@unlv.edu.
Students are sharpening their academic skills here at UNLV thanks to the efforts of ACDC. Studio G's Nestor Sanchez tells us about these students getting ready for college.
UNLV hosted Asian Community Development Council's 4th annual College Readiness Bootcamp this past weekend in the Student Union. The College Readiness Bootcamp provided multiple workshops for high school students, from financial aid assistance to learning how to write application essays to a live panel where college students answered their questions.
I've been in Las Vegas for 23 years, and I noticed that kids are not going to college, or they weren't thinking about going to college.
This event lasted 4 hours to give the students enough time to participate in multiple workshops.
Since I'm a senior and I'm about ready to go to college, we learned a lot about like the FAFSA, grants, loans, what we need to do. Deadlines are very important. And my other workshop was how to pace yourself in college, not get stressed, not have anxiety, what to do with your family life, your friends, and your work.
While the students weren't in workshops, they would be talking to the organizations who had booths at the event.
They were talking with me about wanting to get involved politically, wanting to get involved with social justice causes, and just seemed to be a really good response. They were excited to be here.
ACDC even had a Nevada Congressman, Ruben J. Kewen, as a guest speaker.
Don't be afraid. Don't say, you know what, nobody in my family went to college, so I'm not going to go to college. Well, you know what, then be the first. Set an example for your siblings. I went back to school, and I enrolled in college. And I can honestly tell you that had it not been for that injury, And had it not been for me enrolling in college and taking a step that my mother and my brothers and the other family members in my family didn't take, I wouldn't be standing here today.
For Studio G, I'm Nestor Sanchez.
As you can see, the event packed the auditorium with eager students looking forward to that next chapter in their life. These same students are expecting acceptance letters in the mail soon. We felt some traces of rain throughout the valley last night, but can we expect more as the temperatures continue to drop? Studio G's weatherman Tim Klein is in with the weather.
Good morning, Rebels. Timothy Klein here with your weather forecast for today. If you look to the right of your screen, you can see that today we're looking at an average of 70 degrees. A little bit of cloudiness, but you're going to be mostly sunny throughout the day. The high today is looking at 84 degrees and our low is going to be a 62. So we're looking at it getting a little cooler now. Speaking of it getting cooler, it comes to the weekly forecast. You can see Thursday today and Friday we're looking at sunny days and we're looking at a high of about 82 degrees. And the low is going to be 65. And closer to the weekend, Saturday, we're looking at chances of storms. So get ready for a little bit of drizzling and possibly some thunder and lightning that day. But good news is, if you look down at the Sunday high, it's a 75 degrees. So we're going to get much cooler as this week progresses. Bringing us to Las Vegas's map here. Centennial, surprisingly, and Summerlin on my side here is 65 degrees. So they're getting real cool as opposed to us over here in the middle of Las Vegas, 72 degrees. Green Valley, Southern, Highland, South, Boulder City, Henderson, everything's looking at about 70 to 72 average. And if you want to go north, it cools off a little bit by 1 or 2 degrees. Bringing us to Paradise, beautiful UNLV campus. 72 degrees is our average temperature for the day, and you're going to see a little bit of clouds, mostly sunny. Visibility is for 10 miles, and humidity is going to be 50%, and the breeze is a little light today with calm winds. Bringing us to tonight, you're going to see clear skies tonight, rather. So we get the full moon tonight, 35 degrees, or 35% humidity tonight, so it's cooling down as well as getting a little drier. And the winds are going to pick up a little bit with 10 miles an hour. And that brings us to the photo of the day brought to you by Brian Richards. This is a storm thunder hitting the strip. You can see right in our backyard. This was coming from the sides of Hurricane Rosas. So that was affecting Las Vegas last night in the storm. Now back to the anchor desk with Diva and Sebastian.
Miles Low.
It's your girl, Scribe Cash.
My name's Fabian Stefan.
Perpetual Player One.
And I'm your host, Brandy the Prince Madison.
My name is Haley Rogers.
From the Miles Low midweek show.
The Scribe Cash radio show.
You can listen to Pixel Jam.
Press start to play.
And this is the Takeover.
Rock on Rebel.
On KUNV HD2.
From the rebelhd2.com.
More of the Music Mondays, rap, hip hop, R&B too. I like to play like any new upcoming music, new albums, new mixtapes. I like to open up with maybe kind of like a hype song that gives people energy. Just play any type of good music and then give people like a rundown what's going on currently in hip hop. Just good vibes, good music. A lot of radio stations don't keep up with playing good music. So that's really the goal. This is Jalen Young on More of the Music Mondays. Check me out on the Rebel HD2.
Well, the Golden Knights open up their season tonight. I'm pumped for that. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for that.
I think I'm going to go to party at the park and drink.
Okay, so...
and fake watch Golden Knights play tonight.
So we have somebody turning up. But yes, the defending Western Conference champs open up this season tonight at T-Mobile. We playing the Philly Flyers. I think we're going to get the dub.
I know we're going to get the dub. Anyways, thanks for watching, you guys.
See you on the next episode of Studio G.